Hello, welcome to Nemours Book Nook. This is George, and this is my January and February sort of reading update. So what I'm reading in January and February, and so let's begin with the books that I finished in January. So the first one of those is Percy Jackson and the Olympians Book 1. This is a reread and a buddy read I'm doing with a friend of mine. I have read this book a few times, but I like to return to it every now and then because I think this is one of the best Greek mythology retellings out there. And it hasn't been a great book, but it really is able to balance humor and being serious and being a kid's book at the same time, and keep it interesting, to be honest. I love the story here. I love seeing all my favorite characters, or legends, I guess, from Greek mythology, some monsters, and the story is pretty gripping, I think, especially when you know what happens later on and so on. So this book goes pretty well on rereads. There is a bunch of foreshadowing and stuff. So I do enjoy this book. It is a very light read, but it was very nice to kind of get back to this world. And I do really want to try some of the other series that Rick Riordan has done, because there are a lot of series in the Jacksonverse. So that was the first book. Now we have the second book that I finished. It is Lord of Chaos by Robert Jordan. This is the sixth book of the Wheel of Time. I finally finished this after starting it in September, so that took quite a while. And my final verdict is 4 stars. By the way, for Percy Jackson, that's 5 stars. I forgot to mention. But 4 stars for Lord of Chaos. The ending was superb, as usual in Robert Jordan books. I think the last chapter of this book is one of the best chapters in the series so far. It's up there with the last chapter of book 2 and the last chapter of book 5, which for me are some of the best battles in Wheel of Time. And the ending was good. It was a very, very long book, as you can see. It's a chunker. And it's really, at some points, it was very meandering. There were some very annoying scenes, mainly with the Aes Sedai, who are less than useless. And just kind of really understanding sort of the scope of the world, the scope of what is happening. It is, there are plots upon plots upon plots, many characters to keep track of, but just the world is so big, the world is so expansive, but he's still able to kind of keep me immersed, keep me gripped with the story. So I'm excited to continue on. So that was Lord of Chaos by Robert Jordan. The third book that I finished was the first book of the Legend of Drizzt, or the Dark Elf trilogy. This is Homeland. I have a review for that one. This book was yet again a reread, so 2 rereads this month. And coming back to the Legend of Drizzt, doing my big Legend of Drizzt reread this year, or at least starting it this year, and I love this book. Another 5 star for me. It holds up even after so many years, which was I think 15 years, something like that, since I read it last. And I loved it. This is the humble beginnings of Drizzt Do'Urden, and I'm very excited to continue on with the next books. Right, so that was the January update. So things that I'm currently reading and things that I want to read in February. So we have the currently reading first. We have Persepolis Rising, the 7th Expanse book. So I was not able to finish this in January because I kind of do this only on audiobook, and I do audiobooks only on when I go outside and walk and stuff like that. So I didn't do that much of that, but I am on about 60%. This is a good book, very good book. I am loving where things are going, and I'm excited to continue on. Next one is the one of a sort of my first foray actually into Russian literature, so it's about time, is the Master and Margarita. This is the Bulgarian version of it. I do prefer to read them in Bulgarian because I think some of the Russian idioms and some of the Russian humor and stuff like that can translate better to Bulgarian than it does to English. I'm actually buddy reading this with some guys in a Discord I'm in. By the way, the Discord is of Treebeer Book Reviews. If you don't know him, check him out. He's one of the guys who got me into BookTube. He's great. And so they're reading it in English, and some of the stuff, some of the idioms and some of the jokes and some of the language really does seem to be lost in translation. And I think in this case, actually reading it in Bulgarian might be preferable if you don't know Russian. And so this one is it is a satire book, which I tend to enjoy. I do find myself comparing it very often to Terry Pratchett, but it is sort of a satire of the life in Soviet Russia in the 30s. It has some very interesting depictions of the aristocracy there, of kind of the average person as well. And there's a lot of sort of characters that are based on characters from other books or from other works of art. Basically, for example, for Faust by Goethe, I think that this one is actually, the story is kind of loosely based on that one. There's also a lot of other things, but it's enjoyable. It is very, very weird. It is a very weird book. And yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm about 20% in right now. So that's Master and Margarita. Then we have a book that I just randomly found by one of my favorite sci-fi authors. This is Time and Again by Clifford Simak. Again, Bulgarian version, because it's hard to get English books here. But yeah, so this one is about a traveler who has gone over to another planet to explore it and is coming back after 20 years with some very vital and interesting information and some very interesting changes in him. So basically, this is a world where humans have gone out to the galaxy, gone out outside of the solar system, and have conquered other planets. So it's sort of a galactic empire kind of deal. And but this planet that this person has gone to is the only one that they really can't get to. So they can't seem to be allowed to go in there somehow. And he has returned from there. He is actually the only one that has been able to go to reach into that planet and that star system. So it's a very interesting idea. So yeah, I do love Simak. He is always able to have these really interesting ideas, really interesting ways that he can spin the sort of whole sci-fi formula of conquering planets and so on. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. This was just a random find on a thrift shop website. So yeah, I always love doing that. So yeah, I'm reading this right now. And right, and then we have things that I want to get to. Crown of Swords, book 7 of the Wheel of Time. Yes, continuing on with Wheel of Time. This is allegedly where the slog begins. Let's see if that's true or not. There's some things that I am really hoping to get resolved in a way here, or at least things that I hope happen, that Lord of Chaos was kind of talking about all the time, but they didn't really happen in that book. So yeah, I'm excited to see what goes on here. Also love this cover. I don't know. It's great. And yeah, we have Tiamat's Wrath. So that's book 8 of The Expanse. It is almost done. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I love that series so much. I don't know if I want to see it end. But yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm going to get to it pretty much directly after I finish Persepolis Rising, because this is basically the only series that I'm reading on or listening to on audiobooks. So yeah. For now, I think these are going to be the books that I'm going to be reading in February, or at least hope to finish. Another one, because sort of a bit of a stretch, is Exile, book 2 of The Legend of Drizzt, and as well the second book of Percy Jackson, which is continuing on the buddy read with my friend. So that one is, yeah, I do like that one, and it is definitely something that can be read pretty quickly, so I think I'm going to get to it. And I love it, yeah. It's a great book as well. And Exile, so more rereads. Gotta love those. So yeah, what are you reading? What are you excited about? Any new books? Any recommendations? Any thoughts? Yeah, do share in the comments. And yeah, see you guys next time. Goodbye.